So I think we have to go back to move forward. I think we have to understand some of the key takeaways from the coalitions, looking specifically at how organizations organize, especially how communities looked in the early 1930s, 40s, and 50s. I think there are some lessons that we can learn very clearly, and one is how do we create communities and coalitions being defined not by our own realities, but being defined by experiences that help inform and debunk issues of hate and racism. It's also important and very clear to understand that anti-Semitism and racism is not the same. I do not want to compare tragedies here, but I do think that there's a way forward. And part of that is the community and the generation that's coming behind us. Never before that we've seen a younger generation that is more engaged socially, as it relates to social media, as it relates to issues of agency. Never before have we seen that. Now, so that's a danger in itself, because oftentimes when we think about traditional ways of knowing and learning, we tend to look at historically some of the narratives that play out. But I'm excited about this generation in terms of what they're passionate about, looking at the issues of community, looking at agency, looking at really challenging notions of being. When I talk to my students, I approach them as persons of growth. I also approach them as not a student and I'm the professor. We actually build together. I think communities are changing and issues are morphing in ways that they're actively pushing younger folks to really challenge the narrative that's been mapped out. So I look to our communities. They are informed by younger generation. I also look to the elders when I think about from the African diaspora, when I think about ways of knowing historically. And I also look for how we really interrogate our curriculums that is being defined in schools. Specifically when you think about elementary schooling, primary schooling, looking at content and how do we write against the narratives in a way that helps change the conversations around the world.